Hi there. Welcome to Mother Buck's Cross Stitch. This is my first FlossTube video, and I hope you'll join me on my journey through whatever we go through regarding cross stitch. I'm going to start out by just giving you a little of my background. I started cross stitching about 35 years ago. I was working and had a family at that time, so it was kind of an off and on passion. I enjoyed crafting other things too, but I got to where I really enjoyed cross stitch more than anything else. Once I retired, then all of a sudden I had time to actually spend on cross stitch that I really wanted all those other years. And I was able to take on some projects that I knew would take me a longer period of time that I wouldn't finally get tired of before they were finished. And I think everybody goes through that at some point or another. You start on a large project, and before you're done, it's like the passion's gone for that project. You know, let me know if you do the same thing. Anyway, I'm going to start out, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I've done since I've retired, basically. All of the older things that I've done, I've either been given away as gifts or gotten rid of, or who knows, in moves and travels, they've been taken care of in other ways. These things I've done since I've lived here, and I will just show you the items that I've finished. They're not framed. Some of them still need to be washed, and some of them still need pressing, but I'll give you an idea of what I've been doing. One of the first things I did was a pattern that I bought off of a street vendor. The street vendor had a small magazine that had the yarn, the floss, the fabric, the Aida, as well as a pattern. And I thought, gee, I haven't done it in so long. I'm going to try this little one from this street vendor. And this was it. I really liked the design. I didn't like the original colors. I believe it was originally a lot of reds and greens and browns. And I actually changed it to the colors that I had in my room at that time, with the idea that I would frame it and put it in my bedroom. But I did like the way it turned out, and it just kind of renewed that passion for me to go ahead and start on cross stitch again. Then the next things I started doing was collecting magazines. And if you're like me, when you get started in a craft or a hobby, you want everything to do with that craft and hobby. So I wanted every magazine that was out there to read about what was coming out, what was being done in the community. And one of the great magazines I had was Cross Stitching. And this one, unfortunately, I don't remember. It was The World of Cross Stitching. I don't remember exactly which issue it was from, but I can guarantee you it was probably at least 8 years ago or so. Anyway, and this is how it turned out. I did not do it on the white Aida that it suggested. I did it on a blue that I happened to have, and I thought it turned out, let's turn it the right way, I thought it turned out really good on the blue. It just kind of accentuated that water look to it. And it was a lot of fun. It was small, and it was easy to do. Now, my back stitching is nothing to show to anybody. And I don't really care about that, truthfully. What I care about is what I see on the front. And that was that one. Then I wanted something for my laundry room. I still had a lot of that blue Aida. And this one I also got from a magazine. Unfortunately, I didn't write down oh, yeah, I did. This was from, the designer was Diane Arthurs. It's on 14 count. And I just love it. I just love the way it looks. And it's from Imaginating. And you can probably find it online if you Google it, especially the designer Diane Arthurs. This one I got from a magazine, but I don't have what it was from. Again, on that blue Aida, it's 14 count. And since then, I've actually seen several other designs very similar to this with the bicycle, but maybe just a little bit different flowers or a little bit different position that I'm hoping to do in the future to go along with this. All my life I've enjoyed collecting teapots, and when I started seeing these type of designs that had teapots in them, I fell in love with them. This was actually called Beverage Friends, and it's from a book by Joan Elliott. It's one of her designs, A Woman's World Cross Stitch, and it was published in 2007. I love the design with the teapots. I did it on a sage green Aida. It's also a 14 count. I like 14 count. I like 16 count. When I get to 18, I feel like I have to do a lot of magnifying to really do it justice. So I like to do it on 18, but I end up picking smaller projects usually just because it takes me longer to do it because I'm having to magnify it. But this is the teapots. The Friends are the best. Friends are the best collectibles. I love this piece too. I love the kind of country look to it, and you'll see when you see some of the other things that I do. I love Joan Elliott. I like her style, and I tend to want to do majority of her projects. This one was Cooking Angel from also that same book, A Woman's World Cross Stitch by Joan Elliott. And she has a whole series of these. She has a Sewing Angel, a Cooking Angel, several others I can't remember right at the moment. And I love the diversity on it, the fact that it has all the different little items so that when you look at it, you see more and more items every time you look at it. This one definitely needs washing before I do anything with it. You can see how it's been stored, and I need to do some washing with it so that it can go ahead and get it framed. As I get these framed, I'll go ahead and show them to you when they're finally finished. We can see how they turn out together. This next one was, the designer was Deborah Page, and it was also from the World of Cross Stitch magazine. I don't think I have the year or the issue, unfortunately, but it was a sewing room. It's called Stitcher's Haven, and I'll show you the page, but you can only see partial page here. And it's another one that has a lot of the little details that makes you look at it, and the more you look at it, the more you see. And I really enjoyed this one as well. This was getting a little bit larger for me, and normally I don't like doing really, really large pieces. I do them occasionally, but this size really is my favorite just because it's easier to handle. I do have a wonderful wood frame that was gifted to me, and I do use it when I'm doing a bigger project, but it's not as comfortable for me. I really like the hands-on feel. This one is a Dimensions design called Wildflower Trio, and I love the looks of this with the mason jars. I have at least two other patterns using the mason jars just like this with the wildflowers in it. I'm working on one. I have one in progress right now that I'll show you the next time. And I'd like to have the whole series of these and have them framed. Next, I'm back to Joan Elliott, and I'm sorry, I take that back. I'm back to Mary Englebright, and it's her book called Cross Stitch for All Seasons, and it's a welcome sampler, and it's teapots again. You can see I really like those, and they're very similar to the ones that were in the Joan Elliott Friendship one that I did before. And I love the way it came out. This is one I definitely need to wash again. You can see the edges are really filthy. They need to be cleaned. But I love the way it looks on the white Aida. And I've only worked on Aida so far. I do want to try and work on a linen or something else like that. If you have a chance and you can let me know if you've switched over from Aida to another type of fabric. Let me know what you went to that you thought was the easiest to work with. I'd love to hear your ideas and suggestions for me. This one is the first full coverage cross stitch that I did, and the first one that I did from Heaven and Earth Designs. I had discovered them, and it's called Iris of Gold. This one is actually on 18 count, and it was my first venture into 18 count. Now, when I originally got this pattern, I thought, I'm not going to like that too much because I'm going to get bored with it. But actually, I did not get bored with it. There's enough confetti in there just to make it interesting. And it went really pretty fast, even though it was a full coverage, and I loved the way that it turned out. The next one is also a dimensions design, and I absolutely love it. It is called Feeding Frenzy. It's also on 18 count, and I like this one a lot too. This is one of the first ones I ever did on a gridded print Aida, and for me, I didn't really find that it helped me a whole lot. I do too much counting to pay much attention to the grid. I know it can be helpful to a lot of people. It just wasn't for me. So it wasn't something that I made sure I bought again in the future. I did like a lot of the overstitching like this, where it makes the sack for the suet. That was really interesting to me, and it gave us a 3D perception to the whole piece. Please excuse me if I'm umming and ahhing. Next, I have a piece. This is also from a Joan Elliott book called Bewitching Cross Stitch that came out in 2008, and it's called Enchanted Life. And this is just the first one of 4. The one that I've done so far is the Dream. I'd like to do all 4. I got some Charles Craft Aida. It's actually 14 count, but it's called Stardust, and it's silver dusted. It has silver sparkles in it, and I have enough to do all 4 pieces. And this is the Dream. I do like that really well. The colors are actually my favorite colors, going from the teal to the green to the purple. Those type of colors are right in my realm. And the last one I have that is a completed project is another Heaven and Earth design, another full coverage. The designer, of course, is Michelle Saeta, and the artwork was by Ciro Marchetti, and it's called Ye Olde Kitchen Kitten. And this was the quick stitch version, and I had so much fun doing this one. I have cats, and I just absolutely enjoyed the face of this, and I think and it's the largest piece that I've ever done. And I think one of the things that enamored me to it so much was the jars. The reflection on those jars just made them look so realistic. And it's just actually the olive jar, I think, is my favorite part of this entire piece. Those are the ones that I have completed right now. Now, next time that we meet, I'll go ahead and I'll show you the things that I'm actually working on now. I have probably either 8 or 9 projects that I'm in that I kind of rotate through, and I'll show you those. Some of them are newer, some of them are also from very old magazines, and I'll be sure to let you know which ones they're from and what issues. I had so much fun talking to you, and this may be really short this time. Hopefully I'll be able to talk a little bit longer next time, tell you some more about myself. If you have any questions, please let me know. And like I said, give me your ideas and your suggestions, especially on washing and framing these. I've actually never done any framing before except one time, and that was years and years ago. I would love to hear from you, and I'm so excited to be a part of this community. I watch many of the FlossTubers online now, and I wanted to become a part of that group. All the cross stitchers I've ever met have been extremely friendly, helpful people, and I want to be part of that community. And next time I'll show you the works that I'm working on now. Bye.